Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I want to start off by saying that any and all thoughts and opinions are just that, thoughts and opinions. In no way am I sharing professional advice when it comes to physical and mental health. These videos are simply for fun and to provide my thoughts on the topic. Do not send any hate to anyone I talk about, and please be kind in the comments. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're going to be doing some more Amberlynn Reid content today. Just a quick heads up, I'm going to be cutting this into chunks because it is 3 hours long, and Amberlynn Reid is just too much to deal for 3 hours straight. But I am a little sick, so it's going to take a little bit longer, and I know it's going to come out probably maybe 2 or 3 weeks after the video itself. I know that it's going to be old by now, but, you know, whether or not you choose to watch it is completely up to your discretion, and I completely understand, honestly. But we'll get into the video now and just try to get through it as best we can. Alright guys, so I'm going to cut out the first 5 minutes. Primarily, it's just her, doing Amberlynn Reid stuff. By that I mean just being completely friggin' annoying. She goes on to talk about how she's no longer on Zepic. It has nothing to do with the feeder, guys. Absolutely nothing to do with the girlfriend. The girlfriend that's attracted to feederism. It has nothing to do with her. It's purely Amberlynn Reid's choice. She doesn't want to be on a weight loss drug because apparently being 500 pounds is not a detriment to her health or her physical activities. She believes that it no longer works because, it just doesn't work anymore. The thing that works for literally everyone else in the world, it doesn't work for her because she's that uwu special and she's dating her, her feeder girlfriend, but the two aren't related, okay? She has to really just stress that point a lot. Also, just a heads up, I am going to be extremely petty, primarily because I got a massive headache, but I don't want to delay these videos any longer than I have, because now I've already got a bunch of videos I have to catch up with. So, hopefully you guys don't mind my pettiness too much.
I'm in love type deal. I really am. And
I don't care what anyone says, it has nothing to do with BPD, it's just an infantilization of love. There's no such thing as falling in love that quickly. She simply she just likes the fact that someone's willing to explore her Grand Canyon. That's all it is.
It's been a lot. It's been like hectic. It's been really hectic, I'm not gonna lie. And it's been hard. And like I'm still okay. I am with Tommy still. Not like physically, which is unfortunate because trust, I would love that. But we are still together. And like I said, the only reason I'm just taking like the edge off because I'm literally scared. Because there's a lot of things that like aren't true that are being said, and
I think the majority of the people that are disliking your girlfriend is, one, because she helped contribute to the fact that her former fiance is no longer alive, and two, the fact that she has a daughter and she essentially ditched the daughter for an attraction. And frankly, I don't care what anyone says. At a certain point in your life, when you have a child, that child becomes your main priority, and if you are willing to put your attractions or other things over that child's safety, or essentially your child's future development, because if you're willing to piss off just to hit up another girl for a week while your daughter is, essentially off with friends or family, then that could severely put a detriment on the child, especially if that child is old enough to realize, hey, I'm always going to be second class to whatever girlfriend who's going to hit up my mum next. Like, that's not something that a child should ever really have to feel purely because of the fact that your girlfriend isn't responsible enough to be a mother in the first place.
I know a lot of people are going to be like upset. Like, it is what it is.
The mentality of it is what it is for people who have things that are out of their control. It is to go for the flow because they can't actually control it, or they can't actually create a situation that betters themselves, so they just go with the situation as is and let it play out. You dating someone who's going to help unalive you is completely different from the it is what it is mentality. You shouldn't be going with that mentality because it is completely in your control to actually change. And the fact that people can actually see you say things like this and still continue to support you either proves one or two things. One, they're either children, or two, they're really incredibly just flat out stupid.
And I was trying really hard to like protect her, obviously, and just like protect us. And I feel like that's, people could say I'm always in love. It's fine. Like, I love love.
You don't love love, you just love the attention you get from her.
There's just been a lot of things that like aren't true that have been said, and I just want to be the one to like set it straight because I feel like that's important. And I know like a lot of people aren't gonna believe a word that I say, and that's fine. Like, I fully get it. People will believe what they want to believe.
It isn't about believing what you want to believe. People aren't just creating assumptions and just assuming things off the bat. People are seeing the writing literally on the wall and going, ah, okay, you're disgusting. You're just flat out disgusting. That's all it is. And regardless of whether or not you believe that it's a bad, type of pleasure, me personally, I don't like it. I don't agree with it. I do think there are ways to do it in a healthy manner. Especially there are some people who engage that in that behavior, who do like fasting and stuff like that. If you maintain a healthy relationship with food and a healthy body type and do those things, you do you. As long as I don't have to see it, as long as I don't have to engage in it, completely up to you. I don't care. But they didn't do that. They did that to the extreme where someone lost their lives. Now, that is what makes it morally grey, not morally grey, takes it from morally grey to essentially just a massive red flag, because she moved on to someone so fast that the girlfriend essentially wasn't even in the ground before she hit up someone else, which proves that she doesn't genuinely care. She only cares about someone allowing her to do this, type of attraction in the first place. On top of that, you're dumb enough to actually just do it. Like, let's not pretend for a second like you're going to be the type of person to have willpower. You can't even control your own urges for a day. Like, literally, you failed diets within a day. Like, it wasn't even a full 24 hours and you failed a diet. So let's just scratch off the fact that you're going to have any self-control. You have zero self-control. You're just going to be, 2 years from now, you're going to be 1,000 pounds in debt. And on top of all of that, you try to argue whether or not it was based on monetary gain, which just makes the situation worse, because if you wanted monetary gain, get a job. You don't have to enact those type of situations for money. You could literally just get a job. Work hard, get a second job, get a third job, doesn't matter. Build up the money. You want to see a partner? Actually work for it. Don't enact it in a situation in which caused your partner to lose your life. Was the money worth it? Probably not. I wouldn't assume so.
And I'm not gonna lie to you, like, we were gonna break up. Without a doubt, that was gonna happen. But it's like, we genuinely make each other happy. So it's like, why break up when you genuinely like love someone?
Being happy is not a justifiable reason to stay in a toxic relationship. Jesus Christ, Amber.
You need to stop worrying about what others think and do. You live your life, because the haters just want you miserable. Do what makes you happy, you grown woman. Yes, I fully am in support of that. I'm going to do what I want. I genuinely am going to do what I want. But like, I want to like shout it to the rooftops that like I genuinely am happy with Tommy. And the rumors are not true.
Well, I'll tell you what, you wait 2 or 3 years when you're 1,000 pounds, and when Tommy doesn't want to drag your ass to the rooftops, you can probably scream from a megaphone from your apartment window or something, I guess.
At all. And like, I don't know how else to like explain that. And I promise I'm not like in danger. That's not a thing. You guys know that like I have been trying to lose weight, and I actually have been.
Danger doesn't have to be immediate for you to be in danger. Like, you yourself are morbidly obese. You are 500 plus pounds. And I don't care what anyone says, you cannot be 500 pounds and be healthy. Just, there is no justification for that. You can't be 500 pounds and happy. I was, at my highest, was 312 pounds. I am 5'11". I am a man. I should weigh more than Amber. At the same time, I was essentially half of what Amber was at her highest weight, and I have done permanent damage to my body. My knees are screwed, my back is screwed, my neck is screwed. I have permanent damage to those parts of my body because I have been morbidly obese the majority of my life, just like Amber has. So for the fact of you to say that you are 500 plus pounds and that you are not in danger, girl, what the hell are you talking about? You are literally the danger. You are the danger in itself. Look in the mirror. Also, the only reason you lost weight was because you went on a miracle drug to essentially cause you to lose weight. It caused you to turn off food. You are no longer on that now, so you're going to gain the weight back. Plus, you're dating someone who's going to engage in your ED, so they're going to make it even harder for you to lose weight because they're going to give in to every one of your cravings. If not, they're going to push you into those cravings. So to say that you're not in immediate danger is stupid, because you're quite literally danger right now. Like, you are the danger to yourself. Get help. And I know this video isn't about me. For anyone who wants to know, though, I used to be 312 pounds at 5'11". I'm now around 199, I believe it was, when I last weighed in. I use kilos, so I'm trying to convert it in my head right now, but I'm about, yeah, so I think it's around 199. I probably might be 198 now, but I have lost a bunch of weight, and I can assure you I still need to lose more weight. I probably need to lose another 30 or so pounds or something like that in order to actually be at my goal weight, but I'm doing much better than I was last year, and I can tell you I still deal with back pain and neck pain and knee pain every single day, so I can assure you Amber is definitely hurting. There's no maybe, there is definitely, she is in a lot of pain.
Like, I weighed my lowest that I've weighed in like 8 years. 467, folks. 467. Like, that's, I literally was like, okay, like, pop off.
Okay, and now you're stopping. You're going to just gain that weight back. Like, that's the type of mentality that a lot of people have for diets. They go, all right, I'll go on the diet, I'll lose my weight, and then I'll get off the diet. The diet is the reason you lost the weight in the first place. As soon as you get off of it and you go back to your old habits, you're going to gain the weight back. So it doesn't matter. I'm the lowest weight I have been in 8 years. Okay, and once you start dating your girlfriend, you're going to get the highest weight you've ever been.
Which rumors are not true. Tommy is not a feeder at all. And I got permission to share like why certain photos were online.
I want to do this in a way that will actually not get me in trouble with YouTube, but there are certain roles in certain relationships, and you don't have to have those type of attractions in order to actually have those roles or take out the mantle of those roles. You just have to engage in said behavior. I know people personally who engage in those type of relationships, not specifically the one we're talking about right now, but other relationships. They don't find the attraction in that, but they do it specifically because their partner that they love likes that type of stuff. Now, me personally, I don't care whether or not you have that type of attraction. More so, it's that if you engage in a certain behavior that causes harm to another person, regardless of whether you're attracted to it or not, you are complicit in that, and you need to take responsibility for that also happening. Whether she did it for monetary gain or for the attraction itself doesn't matter, because she took part in the fact that someone passed away. And the fact that you try to justify it with money does not actually help. It makes the situation worse, because there are multiple different avenues, like I said before, to actually get more money. Get a second job, get a third job, get a better paying job. You could get higher education, or a part-time work. There could be a million different reasons for you to get extra money, other than take a part in the thing that took your partner's life. Like, the fact that you actually believe this is a justification really just thinks you're flat out stupid. And I don't believe that you got drunk on 1.5 cans. There's no way in hell you go 1.5. Like, we all know that Amber actually pretends to be something that she's not. She's just pretending to be drunk, and she could really just call this off when she is drunk. She's like, oh, I didn't really mean it like that because I'm drunk.
So when Tommy was with her late fiance, they were long distance and they wanted to see each other more often. And to do so, they found a way to like make money. And it was never like out of like a ill intent.
I don't care about the intent, because the intent is not what matters. It was the actions. Your intent could be the purest. You could have a Romeo and Juliet love story, but at the end of the day, the intent does not matter, because the actions were always going to be negative.
Type of thing. And I know a lot of people are going to think that and still continue to assume that. And that's...
Again, saying assumed. We didn't assume anything. We're literally reading the writing on the wall.
I can't change anyone's opinion. I can only sit here and tell you the truth. That's all I can do. Like, it was just a way for them to make money. It wasn't something they did in their like alone time, like, if that makes sense.
Yeah, Amber, you're not going to be able to change your opinions because we see through the lies. That being said, that's not going to stop you from trying, right? You're always going to try to manipulate the argument because that's who you are as a person.
No, I didn't lie. Like, we genuinely were going to break up. Like, that was like the truth. It felt really heavy and scary for the both of us.
Except you did lie. You said that you had broken up when you didn't break up. So what you could have done was either waited until after you broke up, or two, don't make the video in the first place. That's why people call you a liar, because you lie.
It's just been a hard time, like, for people to be saying that Tommy is a person that, like, she's literally not that person. She's one of the greatest people I've ever known.
You know what's funny to me is the fact that you give the same song and dance about literally every single one, and it's the word for word the exact same thing. They're the most loving, they're the most supporting, the most amazing people you've ever met. I wouldn't really call that. Specifically, what I would say is they're the most desperate, degenerate, disgusting people, because let's face it, if anyone's willing to ignore this stench that wafts from you, to go cave diving in your cave of wonders, you would have to give them some sort of reward, because honestly, that is god tier level desperation in my opinion.
And I will stand by that. Like, I genuinely have never felt so, like, loved and comfortable with someone ever.
You mean apart from Casey and Crystal and Destiny and Beck and Wifey and the 50 other girlfriends that you dated who happen to be married?
Ever. And I want to be able to, like, stick up for her and stick up for, like, our love, because it's important to me. And you guys don't have to believe anything that I'm saying, which is fine, but, like, I'm happy. And I have never felt so, like, seen by somebody, and it just feels really good.
Of course, that's what people do. They love bomb you until you get the attention and validation you want. Then you move into the relationship with them. Then they're going to abuse you, because that's how it works. No one's going to enter a relationship being abusive or a red flag. They're going to have to get a clause in you first. And you're dumb enough to actually go from, oh my god, I'm seen and heard, she's the most amazing person, to being in a situation where you're not going to get out of because you never break up with anyone. You are the person that stays in the relationship desperately hanging on to something that isn't even there. You're going to go from girly pop to the girl who popped if you keep your crap up.
Who specifically do you feel was hiding you? Well, obviously Erica. Hi.
She was hiding you because you were the side chick. Of course she was going to hide you. Are you stupid or what?
But that makes sense. And Erica, when she was planning on moving here, she had this whole spiel that she was going to be in, like, my YouTube videos and all of it. And it's like, looking back now, I'm like, were you really? Like, is that another lie? Probably.
Of course she didn't mean those things. The reason why she only did it was because your relationship was essentially just a form of escapism. Like, she was having issues within her relationship, so she just found someone who could give her the validation she wanted. And she doesn't seem like the type of person who could really be happy in one relationship. She seems like the type of person who could really just get validation from anyone and everyone, and she really just doesn't need to be in a relationship. She should just be single, because those type of people will only ever leech off other people for validation. Kind of like you.
And, like, I don't want to bring up, like, names and stuff, but there is, sorry, I'm getting messages. There is, a relationship that I also recently had where we didn't go really do anything together. And I very much felt like maybe there was some sort of, like, beingashamed.com up in there. And it feels awful. It genuinely feels awful to feel that way. And when Tommy was here, like, we went places constantly and we did things. And I don't think I've moved that much, like, in forever.
I feel like that's a bit of a cop-out, because realistically, other people try to do that within other relationships. Like, Beck and Destiny tried to actually take you out places and do things, and you didn't really want to do that. Hell, even when Wifey was walking the dog and stuff like that, she was doing the majority of the work. Why didn't you get off your ass and do it yourself? We know the reason, because if a meal isn't included, if food is not included in the trip, you don't care. You can't go anywhere without getting some sort of food. And that's all it really came down to. And even now, the only thing you really posted about you and Emily were the fact that the two of you were getting food. You went out to Cheesecake Factory or whatever it was. So, like, it just shows that your lack of your own ideals in your own relationship, because when people tried to take you out, even when you went to Lexington or whatever it was to go to Pride, you stayed in the hotel and you didn't do anything because you didn't want to go out because it was too hot, or because you didn't want to walk, or whatever it was. And when you do go, you make the situation absolutely miserable, because you're the type of person to don't care about other people's feelings. You only care about your own self-interest. You will throw a fit if you don't get your way. And nobody would want to go out with you because you would make the experience miserable. And I'm pretty sure we all have that one friend or one family member who ruins the situation all the time. If you don't invite them, they'll throw a fit and they'll try to make you feel bad for not inviting them. And if you do invite them, they just make the situation absolutely miserable and you just regret going out in the first place. Like, we all have that one person in our life that does that. And Amber is definitely 100% that person.
You went to the Cheesecake Factory. Yes, we actually did so many things, like genuinely so many things. And that was just one. Like,
the commenter actually just proves the point altogether. You've done so many things, but the Cheesecake Factory was the only thing you really posted. It was the only thing you talked about. So I have a feeling that she's just blatantly lying, and the only thing they did was actually go out to eat, and it really just proves the situation and the point that we're trying to make.
My mom was supposed to meet Tommy. It was supposed to be like a whole moment in time. My mom ends up literally getting the COVID. My mom's good now, you guys, but my mom ended up getting super sick. And like, we were worried and we're like, oh no, we should probably take like a COVID test. And it was crazy because I was actually at bingo with her and my mom was like, oh, I don't feel good. Feel my forehead. And like, I felt her forehead. We were sharing literally the same drink and everything. But long story short, I did not get COVID. I did take a test. So we're good.
You are aware that you can actually be a carrier and not have the symptoms and actually test negative and still have it, right? Like, sometimes you will get false positives and sometimes you'll get false negatives, and there are times where it won't actually pick it up and you can still be a carrier even if you don't have these symptoms to it. So the fact that you are with someone who has COVID and you continue to still go out and expose the girlfriend to your sickness is crazy. Also, you go on to say that you sent your girlfriend to your mother's house and with a care package and interact with your mother who has COVID and then get back in the car with you and interact with you. Also, the two of you probably slept together, so the two of you were in close contact with each other when she was interacting with someone with COVID. Like, do you not see the line of reasonings in which makes you look even stupider as a person? And yes, I said stupider.
Okay, so anyways, my mom got COVID, so she unfortunately didn't get to meet Tommy, but it was like the cutest thing. Tommy was like, we should like go get her like a is it like a care package? I don't really know like the word for it. So we went and we made like this care package for her and it was just like the sweetest thing. So we went to my mom's apartment and I like am so scared of COVID. So I was like, Tommy, will you like get out and like knock on my mom's door for me? Because I'm like way like too scared. So she did it. And then we were able to park in a spot where my mom could like still see me like in the Jeep.
I'm willing to bet the only reason Amber didn't get out was because her ass don't do effort, and it's just the justification that her mother could have COVID. Because let's face it, if you're sending your partner to someone's house with COVID, they could potentially bring it back to you. So you're not afraid of COVID, you're just afraid of putting effort in because your ass is going to have to get in and out of the Jeep.
And my mom was so freaking happy. And like she saw, like, so did my stepdad. I call him my stepdad because they're literally going to get married one day. So like, that's my stepdad. Like, I love him so much. So they saw us and they were like, they literally both can't stop smiling and laughing. Like, that is literally the energy that me and Tommy have when we're together, like just constantly smiling. And it's just everything. It's just literally everything. I just want to be happy. I just want to be happy. That's what it is. Who the fuck has ever accused you of cheating? Some people in my life.
Well, you have gone on the record to say that you have cheated before, so yeah, you are a cheater, so you can't really say that, you know, it's unfounded when you haven't cheated, because you have technically had a history of cheating before, so whether or not people accuse you of cheating is completely valid because you have admitted to doing so.
I was expecting to come on here to hear the truth, but you failed.
Honestly, you poor thing, you were too gullible for this life. If you honestly came on and expect that Amber was actually going to tell you the truth, I mean, that's kind of your own fault.
This is the truth. And I knew like people weren't gonna like believe me, which is so hectic because what is there to lie about? Like, what is there to lie about at this point? Like,
the reason you're lying is because you want to seek validation from other people and you're worried that your person who's going to give you that validation is going to leave you. You're going to try and justify her actions because you want the hate to die down so people will move on and try to, you know, worry about the next thing that's going to cause drama instead of causing strain on your relationship. That's why you're lying.
Why are all your girlfriends off of Instagram? Tommy's not actually off of Instagram. Nope. That would be the TikTok, folks. That would be the TikTok. The TikTok, folks.
I think this kind of annoys me about Amber is because she tries to do wordplay, and Chantel and stuff like this do too. Like, a lot of people do this, actually, where they'll take one word and they'll try to dismantle the argument. The argument isn't that you found your girlfriend on Instagram, it's more so the fact that you found your girlfriend on a social media platform that you're known on. Like, that's the only reason that you found her. Like, if you were to go on a dating app where multiple other people who are morbidly obese who don't actually know you are, most people are not going to choose you. They're going to go for people who are naturally smaller, and that's not because they're shallow. That's because they're just more so attracted to that. And it's having, those type of things don't really make you, attractions don't really make you shallow. There's also the aspect of wanting to do things that you wouldn't naturally be able to do. Like, me personally, I used to be incredibly lazy. I would never leave the house, but now I went from seeing my justifications of my ED and stuff like that I used to use as excuses now as obstacles to overcome. So I now go for jogs. Amber wouldn't be able to do that. I go swimming. Amber wouldn't be able to do that. I go for runs, almost every day, like a jog or a run every day. Amber wouldn't be able to do that. Hiking, camping, those type of things. She just naturally has the body type that would not allow her to do those things. And if you were someone who wanted to do those things, you probably would be less likely to date her. On top of that, there are other people who are just as big as Amber who would probably be on dating apps. So it's more so Amber wouldn't be able to take the hit to the ego because she wouldn't have people in her DMs. She literally has people that flock to her because they see her and they want their attention and validation from her. And it's a weird thing because I don't know why anyone would really want that type of that type of validation from someone like Amber. It's like desperate leading the desperate.
Show Twinkie. Okay. Twinkie, it's right here. It's right here. She looks so funny. I can't. She's so cute.
Honestly, that dog just looks like it's done with your shit, and so is everyone else.
Okay, so the timeline. This is beautiful. Thank you for bringing that up. So the first time Tommy ever messaged me was June 18th. Literally so recent. I knew. And I literally have proof of that. Like, we met on the good old TikTok. She messaged me, and it's freaking crazy because I don't reply to many TikTok messages. Like, that's not something I do. And I replied to her, and we just hit it off, like, literally instantly. And then we moved on to, because I'm like a shy girly. So I didn't want to do like phone calls. I didn't want to like give out my number. So I was okay with like moving on to Instagram. So I was like, here's my Instagram. Let's talk on there because I don't really like do the whole TikTok bit.
I don't know if this is because it's an anxiety thing or it's because it's a male thing, but I never really do thirst traps. In fact, I don't do thirst traps at all. I think it's just a weird thing for like myself to do. So I don't know if that's anxiety or not, but I just find it weird that Amber says that she does have anxiety and that's like what she does primarily on TikTok. Secondly, does anyone else find it kind of weird that, Emily's kind of hitting people up on an app primarily used for or used by children? Like, I'm not trying to hint at anything. I just find it kind of weird. Like, why of all places would you want to hit people up on DMs in TikTok? Like, an app primarily used for children. And like, again, I'm not saying anything. I'm trying to hint at anything. I just think it's incredibly weird.
And so we would message each other on on Instagram, sorry. And we had really good conversation. Like, she actually could hold a conversation, like, with paragraphs and like engage in what I was saying. And it's like, it's hard to find people who actually want to like genuinely like have a discussion with you. And it's not just constantly like, what's up? Like, how you doing? Like, no, it was like really in depth. And that's a turn on for me. Like, if you can hold a conversation and if you seem engaging.
All right, I will actually give this to Amber because I cannot tell you how many times I have been in conversations with people where they only give a single word reply, and there'll be times where they won't message me back for days on end, and like, I try to give people at least some sort of the benefit of the doubt. But after a while, if I'm constantly getting single word replies or if I'm being ignored for days on end, I'll just leave you with one message, and whether or not you want to reply is completely up to you. A lot of the times, people will just ghost me completely and just won't talk, and that's fine. I just move on. I'm going to put my effort onto someone else rather than worry about whether or not something could happen with that person, because obviously it just wasn't meant to be. I'll put my effort somewhere else. And I cannot tell you how many times where I will actually have moved on, completely forgot about the situation and forgot about them overall as a person, and to get 2-3 weeks, even a full month later, someone will actually reply to me and be like, whoa, where'd you go? Why'd you ghost me? You know, was I not, you know, were you just trying to use me or something? And it's weird because it's like, I didn't leave you. I didn't stop messaging you. You stopped messaging me. I left you with a reply, wait for you to reply. You could have replied to me at any given time. I was the one putting in 100% of the effort, and you weren't returning that with even a single bit of effort. Like, you did not put any effort whatsoever. Like, if you wanted to reply, that was completely on you to do. And it's kind of weird how many people get offended that you essentially get tired of dealing with no reciprocation or no effort in reciprocation, and they will have a go at you for essentially just moving on.
Like, I love that shit. So after communicating on Instagram like a lot, we moved on to Snapchat, where we sent videos of us just like talking so much. It was like FaceTime, but like with a lot of weird pauses in between. But yeah, and we just got to know each other that way for a bit. And then eventually I was like, you know what? Here's my phone number type deal. So then we moved on to that. And then I remember one day I was like, okay, in the middle of literally just like, we had each other's number, but we were like snapping. And I was like, you know, it's kind of weird that you've never like called me before. And she ends up calling me. So Amber, you're iconic. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Has anyone else found that weird? Like, if you wanted to call someone, why won't you call them yourself? Like, I understand that some people, primarily a lot of women, expect men to make the first move, but if you really care about someone and you really like someone, like, why won't you just put the little bit of effort into actually press the call button and actually call the person in the first place? Like, it's kind of weird. Like, you expect someone else to do the effort for you. Like, just call them if you want to have a conversation with them. Or is that just me? Like, I feel like that's weird. Alright guys, I'm going to cut it here. I do want to apologize for my sick voice and just having to cut this into pieces. It is over 3 hours long, and I don't want you guys to have to suffer through my voice as well as Amber through that much. I don't want to put you guys through that much pain. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.